So here I have some chickpeas or garbanzo beans that I boiled. I put them in the freezer to let them cool back down. And there's a little bit of water from when it was boiling. This is a NutriBullet. I've never actually done chickpeas before, but still fairly thick, but we'll stick with that. Now what I like about this particular ice cube tray, why I chose it, is because of this little flap here. So once that's engaged, you can put it in your freezer pretty much any angle and not really worry about it spilling out or anything like that, because it's got a seal all around the cubes there. So next one I want to do is cantaloupe here. Okay, so I've cut up the cantaloupe and saved some of it for my pigs here. There's all the seeds and the pulp inside, and I went ahead and took the rind off of 4 of them. So I've only put 2, so a quarter of a cantaloupe in here. I think that's gonna make about 1 tray, and I'll only blend that much at a time, and then I'll go ahead and blend these 2 after that for a second tray, and then the rest of it will just go in the fridge for personal use. We'll see how this does. I've never done cantaloupe either, so. That's a little thin, so next time I won't use that much, but that's the other reason why I don't start out with as much. You can see there's a max level there, so we can go ahead and blend up another wedge here. If you wanted your cubes to have a little bit more thick consistency, you can thicken it up with like baby cereal, rice cereal, oatmeal cereal, whatever. But what I do is I just go ahead and make the cubes, and then I add cereal when I feed him. So that's when I worry about my consistency for when I'm actually feeding him, not necessarily the cube consistency, because the cube is going to freeze up anyway. And it actually, like I showed, it's easier to pour when it's slightly watery anyway. This other one in there anyway. The level, you don't want to go above that level too much, especially with thick stuff, because then it causes the blades to have to work way too hard. All right. And don't quite have enough for a full one of these trays, but I do have like these mini cube trays, so we'll put one of those. Fill one of these up. Alright, so there we go. We got some cantaloupe and some chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call those, done. And try to think of one more thing probably, because I've got one other full tray that I can do, and a couple of the mini trays. It's good. Do a quick baby nap check. He's still sleeping. As you can see, getting ready to do some cabinetry here on my kitchen. Just finish up the ceiling texture and painting ceiling and installing the lights, waiting for the bulbs that we're gonna have in those to show up, and be checking. Have to do my layout for the cabinets here sometime this week probably, and I might try to catch some of that on video, but we'll have to see. So I just put these put those trays in the freezer next to our pig we slaughtered. Speaking of pigs, we'll take the scraps out here, take them out to the finishing pigs. It's pretty hot. It's late April here, and it's already in the 90s, which is pretty rare for this time of year, but I'll give them a nice little melon treat. Alistair. So most of those actually, yeah, all but that one over there are all my Icelandic chickens. And here's my breast rooster. These guys are really good foragers, so they usually clean up after the pigs. All right, so we've got our chickpea and our cantaloupe. So I'm just gonna do a quick inventory. Looks like carrots might be the one that needs to go next. Mango, corn, spinach, broccoli, got some peas right here, and one of the favorites of baby is pineapple. So yeah, so you see I've just got all these in little freezer bags, and we just come in and randomly select based on what he's been eating the past few days or whatever. Try to mix it up, give him a variety of flavors and profiles and vitamins and whatnot. So I think carrots are going to be the next to be produced here, because we've got only 5, and that's one I generally like to blend in with everything anyway. So I'll show you that process here in a second. Alright, so for the carrots, this is one that's going to have to be cooked. So what I like to do is, if you're not sure, I want to make about a tray of it. So that's going to be about to right here, roughly. So I'm just going to cut up some carrots until we get to about there, and then I'll cook them. Well, that's good there. So three long carrots about does it. So the next part of it is get you a good pot. Doesn't have to be this big. I just like to stick the colander in with it like that, and it fits fairly well with this pot setup. So whatever you got, use what you got. And then I'm gonna cook these for 15 minutes. Once I get the water up to boiling, I'll put the carrots into the colander, put the colander in there, put the lid on top, and then start the timer. Alright, so while we're waiting for the water to boil on that, I am gonna come in here and grab some stuff. So let's see, it's been a couple days since he's had spinach. So we'll definitely have spinach on the menu for tomorrow. And he had pineapple today. Let's throw a little blueberry in there. And where'd those peaches go? I don't think he's had peaches in a couple days. We'll throw that on there. Since we're doing more carrots here, actually if we're doing more carrots, I may have a little bit extra. We'll hold on with that one for now, but we're going to throw a little small cube of avocado in there as well. And there you go. If you do these a day ahead of time, there's plenty of time for it to melt down. You don't have to worry about that. I just usually loosely put a lid on top so nothing else is gonna crawl into it or whatever. And look at that, here we go. We got our pot is boiling. So we'll put our pre-measured carrots in the colander. Slip that on there. Turn this down so it's just steaming. And we'll do 15 minutes. We'll check back when they're done. So I'm setting a timer for myself, so because I've still got those carrots going. And I'll show you the process of switching this over to what they call lockdown mode. So we'll take our lid off, and we'll try to be quick here and unplug our light so it's not going to be kicking on and off. And and pull our turner off. Very, very careful. Okay. So, take our little humidity gauge out. This is going to come out, and I actually flipped this upside down. Before I do that, I've got a spacer that I've got to put on the bottom here. We check our pan, still has water in it, that's good. We're going to remove all the lids. So we'll flip that upside down now. I've got this anti-slip material. Is just like for the bottoms of drawers and whatnot. I put this in here so that when the chicks are kicking around, that they are not going to get all knocked over all over the place. And what I'm putting up here is this is just going to be a little barrier. And the reason why placing this in here is a couple reasons. One, I've got two different groups of birds that I'm running. So these are like my layers that were with the breast mix. And then these over here are the ones that have, or sorry, it's this way. These are the breast mix. So the breast rooster, these are the cream leg bar rooster. But then within that, I also have these little guys here, which are my Americana. And so I keep these separated so that I know which hen laid which ones. And so I wanted to say, let's see, this is 19, then that would leave us with 20, so that's a pretty even split there. So we're just going to collect these guys, just set them on their sides in here. I'm not really concerned of candling these guys. I want to get them switched over as quick as possible here. We want to put our humidity gauge in here somewhere. View clearly from the front there. All right, let's get this put back together. Give it a little mist. Give it a head start. Building back humidity. Okay, so this, let's get the light turned back on. What do we got left? Our timer. Oh, we're out of time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come back in. Basically, I'll let this run for a little bit and check the humidity. But with the higher humidity, it's gonna drip out more. And so what I do is I just take some duct tape and I seal all around. And again, I'll just leave that backside exposed just because it's a pain in the butt to actually get to where this is right now. But there's all of our eggs. And here in the next 3 days or so, should start seeing those guys break out. All right, so we got 40 seconds left. Quick wash for the hands. We're handling those eggs. Alright, so we got our nice steamed carrots, and we will set these in here. Alright, so then what you want to do is you actually want to use this water on the bottom here if it's something that you have cooked, and whatever nutrients and things came out of there, you're basically putting it back into the puree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this in the freezer for a little bit, and let it cool down. Depending on what food if you just have a regular food processor, it'd be fine to do this. This particular one, it's super pressurized when you've got that seal on it. So the heat plus the friction, it can create an issue. So the manufacturer actually tells you to not put hot stuff in there. I've done it in a pinch, but I've got the time right now, so we'll go ahead and set this in here in the freezer just like I did with the chickpeas, and we'll come back a little while later when that's done. Okay, so we've been chilling for about an hour or so. It's at least not hot, so that's good. So we'll put the blade on it. More water than that. Alright, so here we got his food for tomorrow. Well, he's been eating a lot lately, so we need to add to this some extra carrots. We'll just use this over the next couple days or whatnot. We'll go put these in the house. This is all just a box of fat from when we butchered our pig. I just render it down into lard. I think I might do some tomorrow, so I might film that as well. Let's check this out. Perfect. We're at 75% humidity. That's pretty much ideal. Let's check out the little guy here. He's getting up. He's getting up. Hi. Hi, Bubba. Did you have a nice nap? Did you have a nice nap? Huh? Hi. Hi.
How was that nap? You need to change your diaper? Huh? Give me that. You don't give up your passing. Hi. Did you have a good nap? Huh? Sleepyhead? Sleepyhead? Oh. How's that? Good nap? Wake up, have a nice little bottle?
So we've been cloth diapering for a while now, and I just wanted to show what we use. This is by no means like the fanciest deal or whatever, but these are just like Gerber pre-fold diapers, and I just fold them over. These are actual inserts for the pocket style diapers, and I just kind of wrap those inside a pre-fold and put them inside the pocket here. And I think this is actually like a diaper rash cream that never washed out. But what I actually really like, besides the fact that you don't end up throwing away diapers like on a grand scale, we still use diapers at night just because they are more absorbent. But we were having some rash issues with using exclusively disposable diapers, and we had already decided we were going to get into cloth diapers, and actually bought them before he was born. But we had to wait until they fit him, for one, because we were using newborns for a while. And one of the things I like at this stage right now is because he's kind of moving and shaking on his own, getting up, learning, almost ready to walk. And so then all this extra padding that's on these cloth diapers, when he falls down, it's noticeable, because he doesn't complain as much now when he falls down as he did when he just had disposables. So for anyone that's like really scared of doing cloth diapers, my wife was really concerned about how much work it was going to be, and really it's not. I mean, especially if you've got them on a good diet and they don't have diarrhea all the time or whatever, then it's really not that messy. I saved you guys from looking at this diaper, but it just basically falls right out of the liner. You might have a couple little stains, and you can spray it, keep it wet. And I wash these every other day. So basically once I have 2 full wet bags like this, I wash them up and I line dry them. So I might get I gotta wash them again tonight, early morning or whatever, and I'll hang them tomorrow. But yeah, it's actually quite a rewarding experience for me, at least. Yeah, so making our own baby food and the cloth diapering was definitely a couple things that we wanted to do from the get-go, as soon as we found out we were having a baby. And it does add work. I'm not gonna lie to you, and if you probably tallied your time and everything, it's probably more expensive when you factor that in. But you know exactly what your child is eating. You get to select the produce. You can buy organic or non-organic. You can buy frozen or fresh or whatever, and just make it to whatever specs you want. And you don't have to worry about there being any kind of, weird preservatives or whatever in there, or recalls or anything like that. It's the same thing that we do with our animals. Like, I mix all of our own feed for my chickens, and it's the same thing with that. Is like, I want to know exactly what they're getting. I want to make sure that I can control their health as best I can. Anyway, just my 2 cents on that subject as well. You almost done?